right, we're on. Dance it. Get fancy. Get fancy. And you run your fancy. That's right. We're dancing to the Ballad of the Brothers Sisters because it's Sunday. And what else would you do on a Sunday but dance to this amazing song by Max Caselli, composer extraordinaire. Oh,
Thanks,
yeah,
Mac.
that's good.
Sorry we're late. We were watching funny videos.
Yep, sorry, you guys. We are a little bit late getting on today because we got distracted by something shiny. Yeah, it happens. But I still want you to know we respect your time. Mm-hmm. So here we are now, and we will make sure that we will be super efficient today with your time and ours or something. Okay, yeah, something. Good. I love it. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is, what is it today? Today's the 7th-ish? 8th-ish. It's the 8th. It's the 8th. It's the 8th already?
I know.
Where does the time go? I know December
17 days till
by.
Christmas, people. 17 days.
Oh, You've had all year to get ready for Christmas, and you didn't do anything. Now you're rushing around, braving Costco 2 weeks before Christmas, hating yourself. Yeah.
17.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. I know. I actually have things I need to buy at Costco, like cat litter and stuff, and I can't do it. I can't bring myself to go there. It's too horrible.
Too horrible.
So, true. Why is this fun again? Why is the holidays fun again? Somebody
I
remind me of that.
This used to be my favorite time of year, and now it's just like, there are 12 months. We don't have to have all the parties in December.
We apparently do. We apparently have to have all the parties in December.
Let me spend money that I don't have on shit that you don't want.
I'm just saying that. What I'm really looking forward to is, getting that flashlight. That's also what did I say this afternoon?
A toothbrush.
A toothbrush. That's it. It's a flashlight and it's a toothbrush. Let's get that. So,
from Ronco, and it's a fishing pole.
And you can fish with it. Good. Yeah, I know. So I don't know. I sometimes get it. The older I get, the less I get it, and it feels like it's getting worse. I don't know. Maybe it's because you can't walk into a store in August anymore without there being Christmas stuff out, and I guess that's tough for me. So.
And I enjoy sort of the elongation of it in a way, because once it's over, it's like so over. That's what always kills me is everybody in January is like, it's so gray and dull. And I'm like, leave your friggin' lights up and it won't be so gray and dull. But no, we've got to get those lights down. Those lights have to come down. And I'm like,
to me, it's like, that's how you open winter. It's a great way to open winter. Like, hey, have some lights on. Keep them on all winter because winter's hard and it's dark here. And it's especially dark here because it's always cloudy in the wintertime. So, yeah, it's just like, why do they have to be? We leave ours up all year. We just literally just use them as our outdoor, our porch light now. And it looks nice.
It does.
Like that.
There's that.
It's very festive.
Just take your Santas down. Leave your snowmen and your snowflakes.
And leave those.
You're good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. So here we are. We are talking about one of our favorite shows. And it just so happens that the series is ending tonight. So there's one more episode left that none of us have seen. The show is Somebody Somewhere on HBO. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, because it's not one of those shows that everybody's watching, but there's a lot of people that watching it, but it's like not this cultural phenomenon like some shows are, like a Game of Thrones or something like that.
It should be, though. It definitely should be.
It should be. I would agree. Especially, I think this show has a little something for everybody. So we're gonna talk about that. But first, we are gonna talk about. Wait, I gotta bring this on. Where is it? There it is. We got to do this thing where we open the show. For those of you that are joining us that are new, that's grand. For those of you that have been with us lots of times, welcome back.
Welcome.
And let's get to it. So with me, of course, my name is Janice Brothers. With me is my sister.
And Brothers.
And we have entertainment expert with us today.
Chip Moehle.
There he is. That's right. So
America's sweetheart.
He is America's sweetheart. So for those of you that don't know what we do, we start with a little introduction, and you're going to be talking a lot about. You did most of the heavy lifting as far as getting this program together today. So I'll go ahead and take us through the synopsis, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Sounds good. Okay.
Cool. Okay, so we are Ann and Janice Brothers. Our last name is Brothers. We are sisters. It's a modern day miracle. We didn't even have to make it up for television or media, not like those other brothers sisters on that one show, which will not be named because they're already getting all of the publicity from our name.
Yeah.
We can't even sue them because of whatever. So,
whatever.
I would want to murder them.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Oh, yep. Especially if they were in this building.
That's true.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, anyway, We are in our 50s. We are, so you know a little bit about who we are. We are Gen X, which is kind of our signature of who we are, which means we're still trying to answer the age-old question: did you get your chocolate in my peanut butter, or your peanut butter in my chocolate? It's a great question. I don't know. All I know is that they're two great tastes that go great together.
It's been fun trying to figure it out for the last 25 years.
It has been. It has
It
been.
is. It is. And I can remember. Here's the thing, though. I actually just really like more than a Reese's peanut butter cup. I just really like some Hershey bar dipped in some peanut butter. It's one of
Me
my
too.
Mhm.
favorite. It's one of my
Hmm.
favorite treats.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah. But and I can always remember thinking that when I was a kid, I'm like, well, I just when you would have the actors like that couldn't walk past each other without smashing their peanut butter into each other's chocolate, which is not a euphemism, but it's I'm like that. I was just like, sorry. you know, the giant chocolate bar that they would have in the peanut butter always just looked really good. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
anyway,
I agree. I
so
agree.
I digress.
Giant chocolate bars. Yeah. Yeah, they look really good.
Hmm.
As you may have already picked up, we talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, fun stuff, and any combination of the three. I don't know. Lately we've been talking more, dumb stuff. Well, I don't
Mm.
know,
Yeah, I
but
kind of needed a
always
break. I needed a break because I
totally
was tired
all
of
the
thinking
smart
about
stuff.
smart stuff.
Totally. Uh, we are not cool or hip or sexy, and we are happy to explain things to you. Just about anything. We know this. We're explainers, not sexy people. So it's a lot of work to be sexy. I was scrolling through the Facebook the other day because that's how also that we're in our 50s because we're still on Facebook. And one of my reels popped up of some super fit 20-year-old who was doing really terrible things you know, like some sort of calisthenic where lift heavy things and do like 40 squats in a row and that.
Mm.
We're not that. We're not that. We're looking for the exercises. That's not us. We're looking for the exercises that you can do that won't hurt you. So,
Hmm.
or hurt you less.
Or hurt you
So,
exactly that we don't
Yeah.
have to
yes,
recover from afterwards.
correct, correct.
Like
We are not a
opening
celebrity.
yeah.
Say that again, Chip.
Said like opening the refrigerator door
Yes, you got to make
repetitively.
sure you got to watch out for that. Some of those doors are heavy. So we're not a celebrity or influencer or crime podcast. We are the cool ants of podcasting, meaning that we're all over the place. So if you're looking for a murder podcast, you're gonna have to go find one with like murder or death in the title. So
Yeah, or
Exactly.
something in a small town.
Exactly.
oh, good, good. Now is
Murder?
that a
Question mark.
now? Wait a second, Chip. Is that a murder podcast or is it a Hallmark movie?
Oh,
Sometimes
it
I
could
get
be
confused.
either.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sensing a new genre altogether.
Hmm.
the Hallmark movie
A
the Hallmark murder movie.
Hallmark true
Hallmark
crime.
mover. Oh yes,
Oh,
the
very
Hall
good.
this week's Hallmark movie murder mystery. There we go.
Mhm.
And then they'd show you the Glenn Close movie with Michael Douglas.
Oh, ooh,
Shit, why can't I remember the
I
name of
I
know.
that
can't
movie?
remember. Basic Instinct? No, that
Yes,
wasn't Basic
something like
Was
that.
it? I
Because
don't know.
like they said on 30 Rock, like the first 10 minutes of that movie is so romantic.
What?
Yeah.
Right now I have to.
Just like
God, seriously, how old are we? Glenn Close and Michael Douglas movie Fatal
Fatal
Attraction.
fatal
Fatal
Attraction.
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 Ah, there it is.
That's
Okay,
it.
good.
It's so
Yes.
romantic, just like that movie I saw only saw the first 10 minutes of Fatal Attraction.
You
I
did a
can
good
hear Kenneth
Kenneth,
in my
Chip.
head
Really
saying
good.
that.
All right, so we're gonna leave out. Okay, so we're great to listen to when you want to learn things about stuff, and we're also great to listen to when you're shoveling snow.
Oh,
So much snow,
so
so much snow.
much no. Sweet baby Jesus.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and we got off easy down here in the southern part of the state. For those Michiganders that are up north that got like 4 feet of snow like in a week. Sorry, I guess
Yeah.
the winter found the UP once again here in this great state of Michigan. So
Yeah, I guess they'll
yeah,
be able to run those dogs this year.
I think they will. I think despite
Hmm.
the fact that it was warm today, because it's supposed to get cold again at the end of the week and
Hmm.
bring the snow machine back with it. So yay,
Hmm.
so great. All right, so this podcast is not rated G, rated PG, or rated PG-13. Today, you guys, we will be defending the use of the C word. So if the C word is a trigger for you, you're going to want to turn this off right now, because the show that we are talking about, Somebody Somewhere, really embraces the use of that word in the greatest possible way. And so we're going to be kind of talking about that a little bit and how it is a powerful word, and we're going to defend its use today. So if you were if you were a big watcher of Game of Thrones, you won't have a problem with it. If you're a big watcher of this show, you will also not have a problem with it. But if this is a word as a trigger for you, you might want to. We're not going to bleep out that word. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Okay. Join us on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Like us, follow us, hit the bell, smash that button, leave a
Smash it.
review, smash it,
Smash it.
smash it with two hands. And we would love it if you followed us. Just tell your Alexa friend to play us. I don't know. I don't know if Siri can play us yet. Can she find podcasts? I don't know. I don't have a Siri, so I don't know if she does. So,
I'm not sure
again,
what
you
that
guys,
bitch is up to.
I have no idea what that bitch is up to. I only know what my bitch is up to, and my bitch is Alexa. Or actually, you know what? I'm Alexa's bitch. Let's be honest.
There we go.
Because that's why I can't remember anything anymore. Because I'm like, Alexa, can you remind me to do these things that I do every day that I don't remember to do anymore because I've got like Cheeto brain or something. I think all the junk food I ate when I was younger and still eat is deteriorating, is atrophying my brain.
It has made your
So
brain crunchy.
it's made my brain crunchy and chewy with a soft center. All right. Hey, you should tell your people to listen to us. If you're a listener, we could really use your help. Please tell people to like us, share us. Remember, you can support us for free by just telling people to share us. And again, review us, smash that button, put the word out. Sharing is caring, and all that stuff. We are trying to grow our following, and we gained 2 followers over the last month. So
Yeah.
look at us.
Right on.
So
We should have
we're
another
crushing
24
it.
followers by the end of next year. All
By the end of
right.
next year, we're going to be up to like 65 followers. What? That's right. So watch out, world. We are en route. All
En
right.
fuego.
So smart, dumb, fun stuff this week. Ann, why don't you start us off?
Well, Duncan and I did a fun thing yesterday. We went out with our friends, Mike and Annette, and you may remember Annette from a show she did with us about the Cicerone program, which is like, how to become a beer wizard. So
Yes.
if you're interested in how to become a beer wizard, you could go back into our archives and listen to our show with Annette May. But anyway, Duncan and I went out with Annette May and her husband, Mike, and we went to Miss Kim's in Ann Arbor, which is a Korean restaurant. And I had crispy broccolina in fish caramel, and you may be like, that sounds disgusting. It was so freaking good. I wish I could have this fish caramel on everything I eat now. And then also soy butter rice. Oh, the food there was so good. I can't wait to go back. And I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of Ann Arbor's food scene. I think it's kind of pedestrian and not very inspired, but Miss Kim brought it last night. We had fun with our friends and the food was so delicious. I cannot wait to go back. So thank you, Miss Kim, for restoring my faith in the Ann Arbor food scene.
Good job, Miss Kim. You're amazing.
Right on, Miss Kim.
Chip, what about you?
Mine has been fun. This weekend, I went yesterday to see our friend Tina Albright, Tina Tranquita, sorry. She directs the shows for her middle school, and she did The Lion King Jr., and it was marvelous. And we discovered that it was actually her 30th production overall since she began her career. So it's incredible. And this was really probably one of my favorites that I've seen of the shows that she's done. And then I went and saw my friend JK and just saw Wicked again this afternoon. And had a great fun time just seeing good friends and hanging out and enjoying my movie again.
Yay.
Yay.
Well done.
And just P.S. I'm going to see it tomorrow night too. So okay.
Oh, look at you. You're gonna have that thing memorized by Christmas.
Exactly. I hope so.
That's awesome.
Singing the songs.
You're gonna be like, okay, shut up. We've already heard that part.
I need you. So, Chip, I'm gonna need you to get onto TikTok and do that dance number that everybody is literally doing on Reels and TikToks right now. Literally, I'm so tired of that. It's like everybody is doing it. I'm like, come on, people, find something else to do instead of with your coworkers, with your family, with your dog, with your cats. For God's sake, move on.
I would fall over. Like when they do that sort of sideways thing, I would just keep going.
I would watch that because that's funny. So my smart dumb fun thing this week was so Saturday Night Live, and I think Saturday Night Live is as sharp as it has ever been. And I just think that they're doing a lot of good stuff with their digital shorts, and I like their cast. It's this mix of Gen Zers and millennials, and I just think it's fun and sharp. But they did um a digital short where they made a commercial for the new Gladiator the musical, where they've taken Gladiator 2 and they've added 50 minutes of musical theater, and it is fucking funny.
It is so
They
funny. In fact,
basically
that's why we were late today because we were watching that. Oh
we were
God, it
watching
was
it because
so
I made
funny.
everybody watch it before
So
the show.
funny.
I just love it because they literally click every musical trope box.
Yeah,
They get them
Mhm.
all.
Brilliant. It was brilliant. I was
absolutely.
like, oh man, maybe for even though it was an extra 15 minutes, maybe I would have watched that
Right.
version.
Yeah.
Well,
That-
it made me think differently about Paul Mescal because he's the one that
yeah.
stars in Gladiator 2, and I
Hmm.
didn't really. I'm like, and kind of makes fun of himself during the monologue because he's really known for his dramatic stuff. He's like, I'm not really known for comedy, and they kind of play it off of that. So it was fun to see him do something
Hmm.
dumb and fun like that. I'm like, okay, I really enjoyed that. So good job.
It was fun.
It
It
was
was.
funny. It was very, very, very amusing. It was nice because um unless you want to like continue for the next 4 years to just make fun of our incoming administration, you're going to have to our comedians are going to have to get really creative.
Yeah.
There's a lot of low hanging fruit out there, and this was not. This was really creative
Yep.
and very funny, and I was just totally delighted with it.
Yeah, that took a little bit of work. So
It did.
well done, you guys. Well
It
done.
did.
Uh, all right, so Anne, we're gonna go ahead and jump into our topic tonight, which is the show Somebody Somewhere. Anne, you want to take it over?
Sure. I just wanted to give everybody some basic information. It's an HBO original series. So if you can find it, so if you need to find it, it's on Max, which used to be HBO Max, which used to be
Which used to be
HBO. So,
HBO.
I'm old enough as a Gen X to think that it's still HBO, but it's Max. So if you want to find it, it's on Max. If you don't have Max, think about getting it because they have a bunch of great content. It's my first place I usually go to for content, and they have some really good stuff. They have some shit, don't get me wrong, but some of it's fun. It was created by Hannah Boss and Paul Treen. I have a picture of them there, and there's 3 seasons. So all there's only one episode left, and that's tonight. So everything else is on there right now. So if you wanted to take a weekend and binge it, totally worth your time.
Do it.
Hmm.
It's easy to binge because it's 3 seasons, but there are only 7 episodes per season, and the
Hmm.
episodes are only 30 minutes. So you can
Yeah,
literally sit there. You can go through a season in a couple hours.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
really easily. So you get the feels, just so you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's where to find it. That's who created it. Good job, folks. And there's 3 seasons. Okay, so what's it about? It's kind of a dramedy. So yes, you will laugh. You will laugh so hard, and sometimes you're going to cry, but you're definitely going to have some feelings. Ultimately, it's a show about Sam. She's the somebody, and the somewhere is Manhattan, Kansas, and
Ooh.
I believe that the lead actress, what's her name?
Talking about Bridget
Bridget.
Everett.
Yeah, I believe that's where she's actually from. Is from
She is.
Manhattan,
Yep.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I listened to an interview with her this week on NPR, and she talked about how a lot of the show is based on her past experience, and she wasn't sure that anybody would find it relevant or be able to connect with it. And I can
Oh,
guarantee that we have.
yeah.
It's about Samantha and finding yourself at home again as an adult. So you have this juxtaposition of being an adult but people still seeing you as a child, and it's like sometimes you end up back where you were because you feel like your life is disappointing you're like, oh, maybe I'll just go home. um there's a lot of important relationships that come about because she's back home again, and the show's for everyone who's in their 40s and 50s who feels like their promises that were made to them when they were young have not come true.
What?
Like all that is like, I'm going to go off and conquer the world, and then you get conquered. So it's coming to terms with not just that, but then also coming to terms with the fact that you're okay, you're doing okay. So anyway.
Yeah. I like the way you put that.
Hmm.
Like that's true. Truly, these are not characters that necessarily have it together,
Right.
but they're okay with being okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's and I that's one of the things I've discovered as I've gotten older is that I'm doing okay. You know what? So,
Yeah,
and also
nice.
realizing that everybody gets forgotten. There's presidents we've forgotten. So it's okay if I'm not remembered.
Mm, like I know Millard Fillmore's name, but I don't know what the fuck he did.
I
So
don't
I
know.
know
I
he was
don't know when he was
president.
president. I don't know what the fuck he did. I
I thought he
couldn't.
was a character on The Simpsons.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I couldn't pick him out in the lineup. So yeah,
Well, his name was, like Millard, so you're not gonna remember that.
yeah.
So there you go. So yeah.
Anyway, so the cast, Sam is played by Bridget Everett. Also, she's an executive producer on the show, and I learned about her through her stand-up. She's a stand-up comedian as well, and her stand-up is so funny. The show starts the year after Sam has returned to Manhattan, Kansas, to care for her sister Holly when she is diagnosed with cancer, and it's been 6 months since Holly has died. So we actually never meet Holly. We meet her younger sister Trisha, but we never know Holly. We just meet Sam when she is in the process of grieving. Sam can be described as sad and lonely and lost, generally unhappy. She runs, great. Like she runs from things. Like her go to is to disengage and step back. Her go to is that's how she doesn't confront. She disappears. So she runs. Sometimes if she's forced to, she hits, and she hits hard, and she can be mean about it, and then she runs again. But she does have a really big heart. She's funny. She's so funny. She has this big heart, and she uses her humor to hide and protect herself. So she can be the life of the party and then be the saddest person the next day. She works when we first meet her, she's working at a test grading center, grading standardized test essays. Ugh. There isn't anything worse than taking a standardized essay on a test. It's got to be grading them. Oh my gosh. So she works in this super quiet environment with everybody like reading and woof.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not helping her mental state.
No. And it seems like everybody is watching her. Like everybody is a manager of her somehow.
Somehow,
Yeah.
yeah, watching and making sure that she's grading enough tests in a certain amount of time. It's a demanding, uninteresting job. So
I did that part-time for a while. I was grading, I was reading and grading and evaluating. They're called ed TPAs, which are it's student teachers. You're evaluating the work of student teachers, and it might have been, I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and it was probably some of the most soul-sucking work I have ever done in my life, because not only is it hard watching these kids, go off to do this profession, but then you are constantly being, as a grader, you're always being evaluated, and
mhm.
it just sucks. It sucks so much. So yeah, I related well to that. So yeah, it's not grand. Yeah.
She lives in Holly's house. So she lives in her sister that has died. She lives in her house, but she won't sleep in Holly's bed. So she sleeps on the couch, and the couch does not look comfortable. She has a difficult relationship with her sister. So she has a younger sister who's in a very different place in her life. Her mother, she has a very difficult relationship with her mother, and she's grappling with her place now that she's returned home. I think she's she seems embarrassed about having to be home, and the people in her life are treating her as though she maybe has failed. Especially her sister and her mother. There's a lot of unwanted advice and criticism. Things begin to change for Sam when she is approached by her coworker after an emotional breakdown spurred on by reading one of the essays. And that coworker is Joel.
Joel.
Yay,
Love
Joel.
Joel.
Yay, Joel. So Joel is played by Jeff Hiller, who is so funny. And I got my first experience with Jeff Hiller was on some commercials that he did, and also being on 30 Rock. Sometimes
30
he had
Rock.
like he would come and do these little scene stealing bits on 30 Rock. Oh my gosh, so funny. Anyway, so Jeff Hiller, we are so fortunate to be able to experience 3 seasons of this magnificent actor. So his character went to high school with Sam, and though she initially doesn't remember him, he reminds her that they were in show choir together. And Joe can be described as the opposite of Sam. He's positive, he's hopeful, and he's very involved in his community. And though he works the same job as Sam, he seems so much happier and more, supportive and supported. He's a great person.
Yeah.
He is a respected member of his local Presbyterian church, and on the down low, he hosts a weekly inclusive event at the church known as choir practice.
Mhm.
Oh, I could go
And
to
it is
choir
through
practice.
Joel that we learn that Sam is a talented singer, and Joel convinces Sam to come to choir practice. More on that later. But yeah, so Joel is Duncan and I were talking about it today. We were talking about our favorite characters, and Duncan said his favorite character was probably Fred Rococo, but
Right.
Joel was his second favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
anyway.
totally get that. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, for sure.
mhm.
Mm. Yes.
So there are other notable cast members. The younger sister Trisha, who's played by Mary Catherine Garrison. She's a classic Type A, basic bitch, married, has a daughter, house with all the basic shit in it, owns a shop that sells basic shit, runs a business with her friend, Charity, possibly even more of a basic bitch.
Yeah.
Trisha is very judgmental of how Sam is and has lived her life. Her father Ed was played by Mike Haggerty, who unfortunately died between season 1 and season 2. So, but he was a wonderful character, kind of a salt of the earth guy. He's a good guy, and he's married to Mary Jo, and that's Sam's mom, and she is so brilliantly played by Jane Brody. Just amazingly good job with this, because it would be super easy to make this woman a villain, and she's not a villain. She's an alcoholic and a bona fide handful, but she's not a villain. She's just really broken.
Yeah.
So yeah, and one of the things I love about this show is there isn't a villain in the show. There isn't a protagonist. Everybody's just human.
Yeah, there's not a lot of judgment passed on each character. I mean,
Right.
you
No.
can as an audience member,
You
and
can.
occasionally they do as characters, but for the most part, it's just these people living their lives.
Exactly.
Well, and
Exactly.
one of the
So,
things that's interesting about this show is that we see Sam's grief over the loss of her sister Holly, but we never really see that grief with Ed or Mary Jo.
Right.
mhm,
We know it's there, and the only time they really touch on it is when Mary Jo is in rehab and Sam goes and confronts Mary Jo in rehab over the fact that she never told the doctors at rehab that during her therapy sessions that she never divulged that she had a daughter that passed, and she's never paid for the headstone. And so that's about the only time we really see Mary Jo's grief with the loss of her daughter. So and then like so many, like in so many instances, especially with Mary Jo and Ed, is that we see them deep into their marriage, and we see little snippets throughout the show that show just how much they loved each other and um, how much they were each other's people. They had been dating since they were kids, essentially. So, they were a lifelong couple, and they touch on it, but you don't necessarily really see that in the characters.
mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a few other characters. As I said, Fred Rococo, played by Murray Hill. He's the host of choir practice. He's an agriculture professor at Kansas State. Kansas State, of course, is located in Manhattan, Kansas. He's all around awesome soul. And here's my favorite quote from Fred Rococo: "Sometimes you have to roll the dice on flavor." He is just, you know, he's this wonderful person who probably he I can't imagine his journey wasn't anything but arduous to get to the point where is now as a man,
Yeah.
and that could have gone terrible for him, and it could have driven him insane. It could have killed him, and he turned out to be this really beautiful human being, caring, loving man who we get to know on the show. Uh,
Yeah.
Rick, who's Trisha's husband, he's only in the first season, and I'll just say ugh
Yeah.
about Rick.
Yeah.
Shannon, who's Trisha's daughter, she's involved in the first season, only the first episode of the second season because she goes off to college. Charity, who's Trisha's best friend and business partner, we only see her in season 1. And of course, Brad, Joel's love interest. He is kind and not afraid to do the things that make him happy, and we really see him in season 2 and season 3. So
Yeah.
he's also a delightful man. So yeah, cast of characters. The only one I can honestly say who's a dick bag is Rick, but they really don't focus on him. It's like
No.
he's not, once he has his dick bag moment, he's gone, and we don't have to, it's it would be really easy to make him a reoccurring asshole, but this show's not about that. It's not about having this protagonist that they always have to defeat or rise above. He's just a dickhead and then he's gone. So,
Yeah.
yay.
I think it goes back to what you said about the characters. He was becoming too much of an antagonist, and it
Yeah.
was kind of bringing down the tone of the show.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's just let that energy go, and
Right.
it helped make things a lot better.
I think so too.
Agreed.
I think so too. He,
Agreed.
he played his part in telling the story and then he was gone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
why you should watch this show. This show is a great slice of life. That's what it is. It's not about, there's no, here's what's happened. Here's the arc. Here's the resolution. It's not like that. It's not formulaic. It's literally a slice of life. And the writing is excellent. That's what makes it work. There are more small moments in the show than big moments, but the small moments hit so hard and the big moments hit even harder. It's about the minutia of life, which, I think when Bridget, when she said, I'm not sure anybody would want to watch this show because it's basically about my life. I'm like, isn't that what's really interesting and what we really want to know about people is the minutia of their life? How is it different? How is it the same? How do we connect?
That's why People Magazine is so popular.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like I said, it's so well written. It's funny and sad and smart and relevant. And it keeps you coming back. This is my main thing is I kept coming back to it over and over again. It has so much humanity.
Yeah.
It's so much humanity. It makes me happy even when it's making me cry. And sometimes you laugh like you haven't laughed in a long time. Okay, after they had the what is it, the Kansas City sushi or St. Louis. Oh man, I mean,
Chip, I know
couldn't.
you hate that scene, but that scene just kills me. It's
Kills
so
me. I
funny.
couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. And of course, she learned to embrace the C word. And I'm just going to say it. You learn to embrace the word cunt and take it back with all your, it's yours, ladies. It is our word. Let's take it back. So you learn to embrace that word in the funniest way here. So
It's a big
there
cunt
you go.
energy out there.
Big cunt energy. Exactly. So there you go. That's why you should watch the show.
Totally.
Well, and one of the reasons I like what you said about it being there's many quiet moments because the show's already quiet. Those even quieter moments hit harder.
Mhm.
We'll talk about some of those moments. We have this little, this giant list of small moments,
Mhm.
and that's what makes this show. This show is about little things making big things, and that's my truthiest truth. And this show basically encompasses that truth, I think, better than just about anybody. So,
Mhm.
look, my
I
cat's
agree.
with us. Look, everybody, Marla the
Is your
cat is with us.
is your cat with us? Oh.
Hi, kitten.
Hi, Marla.
My cat likes it when I sit at my desk because then she can come and get pets. She likes that. And she's super shy. I would put my camera down on her, but she'll just run off. So I won't. If I'm leaning over, it's because
It's
I'm
'cause the
petting
cat.
my cat.
Because the cat needs to be pet.
Because Marla, my old lady, is like, let's go, girl. And then she's gonna climb up on the bed and go for a nap because she's living her best life.
Exactly.
All right. So Anne, why don't you take us through some of these small moments?
Well, the first, I think, small significant moment is Sam's at the local community pool, and she's doing her swimming and her exercise, and she's already re-met Joel, and he's invited her to this choir practice, and I think it's not a think, her first instinct is to back off, is to back away from Joel, is to back away from the experience, to back away from engaging in this community. I think she feels like this is just a short stop for her. She's not going to get attached to anybody. She's already really hurt. She's still grieving. And so you kind of see her decide that, yeah, she's going to go to this choir practice. She's going to interact with people. And that is very important to how this show moves forward. Another small moment is Sam's conversation with her dead sister's girlfriend. And it's just kind of like, basically they're talking about how each of them is grieving, and her sister's ex are I guess you could say her sister's widow says, sometimes you just got to buy the boat, and that's she bought this boat after the love of her life died, and because she wants to continue to live and remember, the woman that she loved. And it was just it was just a beautiful way to see how grief evolves. It's like it's not just one thing. It doesn't grief ebbs and flows. You don't It's not a straight line. You go backwards, you go forwards. How do we get to a place that we get? And it was just two women talking about a woman that they loved very much and where they are in their grief and how they're coping. It's conversation with Fred, where he tells Fred that Mary Jo is in rehab. Fred Rococo and Ed, Sam's father, are talking in this field of was it corn, and Ed is not a very he's a kind man, but he doesn't engage in deep conversations with anybody. And he tells this man that he does not know very well, a transgender man that he does not know very well, about what's going on in his life. And it was so tender and so beautiful and kind, and it was just, oh man, it knocks you off your feet. The kindness of it knocks you
That's like one of my
sideways.
top three favorite moments in this series is that moment because
Yeah.
earlier in the episode, Ed is telling one of his friends, he's making up the story about where Mary Jo is because
Hmm.
he doesn't want to tell anybody that she's in rehab. And, Sam sort of confronts him about that and he talks about how hard it is. So at that moment, he decides that it's going to be Fred that he's going to talk to about this. I loved it. And Fred's
Hmm.
response was just perfect. He just pats him on the shoulder and he's like, it's going to be okay. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just what you need. You just need somebody to
Hmm.
pat you on the shoulder and say, yeah, I hear you. It's going to be okay.
Hmm.
And so that you could just see this world of possibilities change. Things change for Ed in that moment because
Yeah.
I think for the first time, because he's not necessarily a guy that reaches out to people. So for the first time, maybe in years, he's like, oh, I guess I don't have to do this alone. It's just a really nice moment. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of my favorite moments.
Yeah. There's a very, very sad moment where Mary Jo, Sam's mother, who is an alcoholic and is trying desperately to stay clean. You watch her walk into the barn where she's hidden alcohol, and that today she's
Oh,
losing. She's losing that battle, and it's heartbreaking. And it's the end of the season when this happens. So when you come back into season 2, you see the effects of that. And so it was just really heartbreaking. This is part of season 2 when Trisha tells her mom that she's going to Wichita. Her mom has been put into a senior living community, and she is naughty. She's making life hard for everybody that is there. And the nursing home people tell Trisha and Sam that their mom can't stay there, that she has to go someplace where they can help her, more like a lockdown ward. And they're trying to figure out how to tell Mary Jo. Mary Jo is not being nice about it, and Trisha just finally lays it out, and it's funny and heartbreaking and woof. um Sam and Trish bonding over Trisha's new line of pillows, and that's where we really start to, embrace the cunt. Trisha makes her first pillow, which is lying cunt. It's really, and then Amy Sedaris. That's what's so funny. I love Amy Sedaris, but there's supposedly Amy Sedaris posts it on her social media, and everybody wants these pillows now. And it turns out that Trisha is sitting on a gold mine of cunt pillows. Sam and Joel, just one of their teeny teenies, and that's when they drink martinis together and just be friends. It's delightful.
Yeah.
Darlene's death. This is a music teacher that had a big impact on Sam's life when she dies in the funeral. Having Sam sing the song Gloria at Fred and what's his
Susan.
wife
Susan's,
Susan's
yeah.
wedding. Oh man, that's so. In fact, I put that on my list of songs after, because I'd forgotten about this song, and she just belts it out, and it's amazing. The
The
first
music
time,
in this series is awesome.
yeah, the music is
Really
great, and
awesome.
yeah, it is really good. So this is in the second season when Joel actually lies to Sam about Brad, about his relationship with Brad, because he knows that Sam is fragile and afraid to lose people,
Yeah.
and that he's afraid he will lose her, and that because she'll just back away from him, and he's afraid to hurt her. So this is, and that it's 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 like you
Does some damage. Yeah,
it does
Yeah.
some
some
damage.
damage.
It really does. It really does. Sam's Cinderella moment, that's what I call it when she flings her shoe through her neighbor's window at
The end
the
of
end
season
of
two.
season 2. Oh my god, it's so funny. The start of season 3, Tears and Margaritas, where Sam and her sister Trish is now divorced and they're celebrating, and then she starts weeping. It's so
Yes.
funny. That was great.
But I think
The
Sam has it right though, because there's nothing that delicious queso can't fix. There's no
yeah,
problem that cannot be fixed by margaritas, chips, and queso, in my opinion.
Yes.
exactly. So that's so funny. A very sad moment. It was when Sam was watching the people around her change. She's watching her best friend Joel and his boyfriend Brad move in together and start building a life. She's watching Fred get married and build a life. She's watching her sister build her tiny empire, and Sam feels like she is staying in place.
Yeah.
And she decides she's going to get herself a dog, and that's going to be the first thing she does. And the dog she wants gets adopted before she can adopt it. And
So
it was
yes.
sad. It was sad.
Yeah.
That
Um,
was a great dog.
yeah, it was a great dog. Iceland is a character in
Mhm.
season 3 that I think is going to be important. Chlamydia makes a
Makes its appearance.
makes its
Oh,
appearance. So funny. Fred's new wife Susan is a handful. I thought this was interesting. Several of the characters talked about not going to doctors for years. And I think both, as Sam talked about not going to the doctor, I mean, here she is, a single overweight woman. So many doctors are going to say to her, I won't help you until you lose weight, even if that's not the problem.
right.
And then, of course, Fred talks about never, having not going to a doctor for years because he's a transgender man.
Right.
I'm sure he's had terrible interactions with doctors. So I think that's not an uncommon thing in middle age, where you go in because you have a migraine or your knee hurts, and the first thing your doctor tells you is that, oh, well, you need to lose weight, and I'm not going to help you until you lose weight. Like, that's a real thing that happens to lots and lots of people. And it sucks. And it's one of the reasons why we don't get a good enough medical care, because we're afraid to go to the doctor. So
Yeah.
I thought
I
that
don't
was
go
an
to the doctor.
interesting,
I'm terrible about it. I'm
yeah, I
terrible
thought that
about
was
going to the
really
doctor.
interesting
Yeah.
point to bring up. Donuts, that's very,
Yeah.
donuts play an important part. Pictures on the fridge, the
Yep.
piano, the bully. All of these are small moments that make a real impact. I thought this was really interesting. The experience of older LGBTQ people with younger LGBTQ people. And both
Yes.
Fred and Brad talk about their experience. Well, not Fred as much, but you get the idea that Fred was like, no, it was different. But Brad really talks about his experience as a man who was married to a woman who had 2 children, and how he hid from his who he was. And then to have the younger people in their lives say, I could never hide it. It was never that bad. I don't know how you did that. It was unnecessary. And I was like, wow, there's a real difference of perspective there. And it just reminded me that we are where we are because people before us were brave, and we were able to stand on their shoulders. Whether you're, a feminist or a young woman who says, well, I'm not a feminist. I'm like, the reason why you can get a credit card in your name and have your own driver's license and vote is because stronger women before you were brave. And it's the same thing with people, with gay men and lesbian women and transgender people, is that it's not perfect now and often sucks, but man, the changes that we've made is because brave people before you made decisions that helped you. So, and I felt it was, I thought it was a really, I'm sorry, Chip, I'm really hogging this. I didn't know if there's anything you wanted to say
No,
about that, but I was just like, it really struck me. I was like, wow, that was, it was very powerful to me.
it is. Well, and they don't do that a lot on time. The one thing I enjoy about, well, one of the many things I enjoy about this show is the fact that none of the characters are TV attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Nicely
And
said.
100. Yeah.
Nicely said.
we've got gay characters, we've got transgender characters, and the fact that they're older. Like,
Mhm.
there was a TV show, the last thing that Leslie Jordan did was called Call Me Cat. And he played an older gay man who had just broken up with his husband and was trying to find love. And I thought, we don't see that story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is young, perky, and,
Mm-hmm.
Hot
skinny.
doctors
And
and hot
yeah.
lawyers and hot firemen and hot
And I'm like, this
policemen.
is a
Yeah.
true thing. This is like, even they did a series where like Neil Patrick Harris and his husband got divorced, but I'm like, two super attractive guys who all their friends were attractive. I was like, whatever. I'm so sorry. You're going to be able to fuck whoever you want to in the next 24 hours. It doesn't really. But with this show, I love that too, because you've got these people who have this experience and who wear it on their face.
Mm-hmm.
And that there is, I mean, just in my own experience of baby gays don't really realize, when I hear some people talk about coming out day, we don't need a coming out day. Like, we're out, and they get real defensive. And I'm like, honey, you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You need a coming out day. We needed a coming out day.
Mm-hmm.
I went to events in LA, like the GLAAD Awards and stuff, where there is an entire generation of men missing because of the AIDS
Right.
Correct.
crisis.
We lost.
Correct.
In my age group, and then a generation that's gone, and then an older generation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
it's
and
just,
I-
it's weird and it's uncomfortable.
And there are still people out there that know that they will not be accepted if they come out. The idea that you wouldn't
Exactly.
need a coming out day is ridiculous, because there are still many people who are hiding who they are for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
One
And
that
it
there's
could
so
be
many
anything.
sort of young celebrities who are like, refuse to sort of state who they are. Like, it's
Mhm.
not important. And I'm like, well, I love that we may be getting to that place, but it is important because of what you just said, Jenny. There are parts
Yeah.
in the country where that's never going to be acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And people need to have that role model.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
I'll get
and
off
the
my
truth is-
soapbox.
No, I
and
just
the
thought it
truth
was.
is we're still fighting the same battles, even as women. We're still
Yeah.
fighting battles. Bridget Everett is not a classic female lead character. She's
Right.
not. That scene where she's sitting in the doctor's office with the
The
cover that's
tiny,
too
the
small.
tiny,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I totally relate to that, because it's like, this is a world that's not built for people that look like Bridget Everett. It's like, and you talk about not being accepted. That's a big thing. And so I again, I appreciate the fact that we're dealing with characters who look like us. That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I just thought that was a very powerful moment. I thought that was, and it happened two separate times with these people, and I was like, wow, that's Anyway, it touched me. The fender bender is a small moment, especially for Joel, who's he's cracking a little bit. And then, of course, my favorite line so far in season 3 has been Bridget's line, "I've never been to Europe, but I've been to Nebraska." So those are some of the small moments that hit hard. And then, of course, the big moments: Sam's first visit to choir practice, and we
Oh,
get to
yeah.
hear her sing.
Totally good.
yeah,
That
what
was
an
what
amazing song
sold
choice
me
too.
on the
Good
show.
Lord.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm like,
Me too.
the fact that they chose "Don't Give Up" by Peter Gabriel with Kate Bush. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Are you kidding? It was like,
Yeah.
it was a deal maker for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love the show a million now.
And I love when Joel's like, I'll sing the Kate Bush part.
Well, I just loved it too, because I'm like, this choir practice was like, oh, look at all these, such an inclusive event, and it's easy to say there's no gay people in Kansas, there's no gay people in the South. There's lots of gay people that are building communities, and this is one of the ways that it looks. And yeah, I just thought it's fun. It's so fun, and I wanted to go to choir practice.
I'm like, I want to go to choir practice.
Of course, Jenny and I we already talked about the SLS toilet scene, the St. Louis sushi toilet scene. Oh,
And I'll just tell you that scene actually turned me off of the series briefly, because I understood the need for it, but it's so gross that I'm like, I don't understand the necessity for that level of grossness ever. And I was like, plus it was like the first episode of the season, and I thought, if this is setting the tone for the rest of this season, I'm not interested.
yeah.
And fortunately, I was talking to Jenny, and she said, "Oh, no, that's kind of an isolated event." And and I said, "Okay, good." And then I went on and watched the second season. But
I was gonna say, Duncan's behind me laughing about it. So that's, I guess yes, it's totally gross, but I just like, that's something that Jenny and I could do together. because we have such a close, it's like that
Yeah.
relationship where, oh man, oh, it's making me laugh just thinking about it. Just it wasn't just the scene itself, but it was the scene between these two people who love each other and are so close.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
It's
you
so
reach a level with
ridiculous.
where you reach a level in your relationships where you can talk about the fact that we ate this thing and now we both have food poisoning and we are checking in on each other. That fact that they spend the first 30 seconds of that interaction kind of lying to each other about how they're doing, and then as they're muting their phones when they're having a dump, and then when they finally kind of come clean that they're both sitting on the toilet just about shitting themselves to death is so funny. And the fact that they're trying to mute themselves while I just love like that whole thing is I'm like, and they finally just drop it. They're like, I'm really sick too. And they're sharing these terrible noises and this thing that kind of elevates relationships to that next level, which really sets up the rest of the season when it really sets up how hurt Sam is when Joel doesn't tell her. I mean, that happens just a few episodes later. I'm like,
Mhm.
here are these two friends that have shared this level of grossness and intimacy, and yet he keeps this from her. You start to understand. I think it helps you understand what Sam thought they had and then maybe they didn't. So that's yeah, I get it. It is disgusting, but it's a huge moment as far as
Mhm.
shaping season 2.
Yeah. So of course, Sam sings her song to Joel. That's important. Sam tells Trisha about her husband's affair with Charity. Sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't seen any of the show, but that was hard. That was a hard thing. I'm like, Sam could have really, man, that was a hard thing to do, and it was hard for. Ugh. Anyway, Darlene's funeral was a big moment. Sam's apology to Joe is a huge moment for Sam. Sam quits her job grading essays. Sam and
It's a
Joel's
great moment.
confrontation. Woof. Sam's decides her rules aren't serving her anymore,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I think, in season 2 when she decides that her rules aren't serving her anymore, that doesn't mean you stop. Just because you decide something isn't working for you doesn't mean you suddenly stop doing those things because
Right.
that's your habit. That's your go-to. So, season 3 is a lot about okay, it's not serving her anymore, but what does serve her? And the fits and starts and the it's like, oh, that's sometimes we talked about earlier, before the show that, season 3 was a little more of a bummer, but how do you establish yourself once you decide something isn't working for you? How do you create your new self? And it's not
So
easy.
hard.
It's so hard and it's so much failure.
Well, and
So
the
I think
fact that
that's
she
mhm,
just had done that, the first
right.
season of that. So, you've just done that, and then
Mhm,
suddenly you have to do it again, and it's
right.
ugh.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fair. Fred and Susan's wedding is beautiful and fun, and it's a great big moment. Trisha goes off on her ex-husband about the chlamydia. Oh, God, that's so funny. And then, of course, Thanksgiving dinner, Thanksgiving dinner among friends. Brad's song to Joel with a lot of Sam's help. And of course, Catch Club. We don't have choir practice anymore. Now we have Catch Club.
Chip, I would give almost anything to see you at Catch Club.
Me
Almost
too.
anything.
Me too, man. Both, all of us, all of us. You're like, when Fred's like, yeah, just stand there behind Joel and Brad. You'll get some action.
That line made me laugh out loud.
Oh man.
Eh, I
So
love
yeah,
it.
so big moments, small moments. I wish I don't wish I could say it because I love having a show where there isn't the very first episode. Uh Joel and Sam find out that one of their people that they graduated with wrote a tell-all book,
Yes.
including a lot about Sam. And you think that this is going to be something that's reoccurring, or she's going to have a confrontation with this woman, or it's going to be something that blows up or is a big deal. And she finds out about it. She and Joel have a conversation and a laugh about it, and then it's done. It
And
never
it's
comes back
yep.
because that's how the show works. This show isn't about something that they have to one incident that they have to overcome or make something of. It's just about them living. And man, I can't think of another show that does this.
I think
Or
of the seasons like the first season is about finding connection.
Hmm.
The second season is about trying to keep it and build it, but
Mhm.
also messing it up.
Mhm.
And then the third season is about it all changing and the loneliness that it comes in with that.
Mhm.
Um, but what I think ultimately I love is it's the connection between different types of people. They don't talk politics in the show,
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
but you know that these people probably have very different politics, but that they all have a connection, that they
Mhm.
all share, they all come together somehow
Yeah. Yeah.
and create
Exactly.
this community. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the character of Fred Rococo, like you said, just it's one of the most unique characters on television.
Mhm.
Haven't seen anything like it before since. Um, so positive, so loving. There's a thing right in the first season where the waiter refers to him as ma'am, no, sir,
Sir,
and
Mhm.
then
sir, yeah.
refers to him as ma'am, and then he just quietly says, "You got it right the first time," and that's all they ever do with it. And
Mhm.
I love that that's it.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing I enjoy is they do the same interludes that Schitt's Creek does. That in between each scene, they do just a shot of the outdoors,
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
like a
yeah.
horn, dirt, 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 little
Mhm.
thing. And I love that because it kind of gives you a call back to that, also that wonderful community in that
Yeah.
show.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Mm. I'm gonna miss the show.
I am
Yeah.
too. I would love to, especially after watching this third season. I would love to see a fourth season because I feel like this is a story that I could watch for a really long time.
When
As these characters change and evolve and succeed and fail and all of that.
I think, having moved back here from LA, that's one of the things that was really attractive about it was like, oh, this is not the same situation, but it's a similar situation.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
it's nice to see uh, characters who are a little more real than television characters generally are
Mhm.
deal with an issue that in middle age or later age you're dealing with things that you don't see on television,
Right.
so
Right.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So we'll be too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's literally every reason for you to watch this show. You
do
should
it.
watch it. It like I said, it's an easy watch. God, it's an easy watch. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, make it happen, people. Make it happen. So
Mhm.
there
Do it.
you go. Yeah,
You won't regret
you won't
it.
regret it. Yep,
You won't.
it's easy
Mm-mm.
watching. So all right, people, well done. You did it. You spent nearly almost an hour again. Here you go. Spend another hour with us with the brother, sisters, and entertainment expert Chip Maley. Well done.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we would love to hear if you are watching the show. We would love to hear if you've not watched the show. We would love to hear about if you start watching it. We'd love to hear your reactions to it. So yeah. So thanks for spending the hour with us. Remember, you should definitely jump in, make comments on our show, either here or on the Spotify or on the YouTube. And remember, we want to hear from you. Give us your questions, concerns, comments, and
Confessions.
confessions. That's right. Confessions of a TV watcher. Remember, you can always support us for free. All you got to do is like, subscribe, follow, leave a review, smash that button. Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We want to hear from you, people. We want you to share us, because care us. I don't know. That didn't work. Never mind. Okay. uh, Join us next week as we determine if Joe is the asshole. That's
Oh,
right. That's right. We will have our
oh,
regional manager. That's right. Joe Peters will be with us. He is our regional manager and resident asshole expert. So he will be talking about, we will have situations where Joe will help us determine if Joe is the asshole. So there you go. Any cute?
He's so
those
cute.
are great photos.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Yes. So yes, that's next week. So make sure to join us. And I'm going to start the outro music here.
Yeah,
Humongous
exactly.
special thanks to Chip
Yes.
Maley, entertainment expert, for giving us his wise thoughts. And you had a busy day today, so thanks for making it here
Mm-hmm.
today.
Oh,
Yeah, thank
thanks
you.
for
So,
holding for me. Yeah.
no problem.
Our pleasure. Find out next
Indeed.
week. Are you the asshole?
I know,
Or you
right?
might be the asshole. So, anyway, I am Janice Brothers. With me is my sister.
And brothers.
And, of course, entertainment expert.
Chip Maley.
That's right. We want you to get out there. We want you to do something smart, do something dumb, do something fun. We are out of here.
Bye.
Thank you.